They are the Bible study, Council of Catholic Women, or CCW, Young Adults and Youth Ministries. For our music, we have our Mass will be presided by Father Raymond Desvida, who was our former pastor here at Holy Family. Currently, he is the pastor of St. John of God in Norwalk. After the Mass, you are all invited for fellowship with breakfast at the parish hall by the several leaders of all the sponsoring ministries. Thank you. Please stand.
Here, one of the most beautiful readings that we find in our scriptures is the genealogy of Jesus. For many people, this is one of those gospel readings that whether it's the deacon or the priest or the bishop who reads it, when it's being read, we look at the parole, we look at the Christmas tree, and we can't wait until everything is finished. As for me, I could not help but listen to every single family name, every single name that is mentioned, and it brings so much joy to me. Why? Because I realize my family is not the only dysfunctional family in the world. I realized that even the family of Jesus was dysfunctional as well. During the height of COVID, many of you probably have heard this. I said this several times before, at least at my parish right now. I don't know if I shared this with you here because it never happened yet when I was here. During COVID, my baptismal godmother called me up. She lives in Ohio. And she called me up and asked, I listened to you when you celebrate Mass online. Remember, everything was online. And she started to listen, and then she asked me, can you teach me how to give a talk about Mary? That was what she asked me. And I asked, why? Because I have to give a talk about Mary in our concilio, and I have to prepare. So I asked her, do you have a personal story about Mary? That is your starting point. Do you have a personal story? So she said to me, when we first arrived here in the States, I didn't have a job. She said, your uncle didn't have a job. We're starting a family. We are bringing with us 3 children already. And one was left in the Philippines. And then I got pregnant. I became pregnant. And your other uncle said to me, he's a doctor who worked at that time in Ohio, said to me, he said, why don't you just abort the baby? You're poor, you just arrived here, you don't have work, your husband doesn't have work, you have 3 mouths to feed, why have another child? And so she was wrestling with the idea of having an abortion. And the day came when they were supposed to go to the abortion clinic. So what happened? On their way, she was praying to the Blessed Virgin Mary. She was praying that she doesn't want to have an abortion, but she was pressured to have an abortion and convinced to have an abortion. So on their way, right at the intersection, they were T-boned by somebody who was speeding the red light. And they turned turtle, and at once they were brought to the hospital. And because of that accident, that stopped them from going to the abortion clinic, and instead went straight to the hospital so that they can be given better care. And the child was not aborted. She did not lose the child, and that child became her last son, her last child, or the youngest of her children. And that story told her, okay, why don't you use that? Excuse me. I'm so sorry, I'm forcing my voice to come out. Why don't you use that as your story about the Blessed Virgin Mary? But at the same time, it brought memories to my mind. You know how things that happen all of a sudden, childhood memories coming back in your mind. And I remember when I was a little kid, I was 4 or 5 years old, I would hear my mom say, oh, we've always wanted to have 4 children. You know, when you hear that, and you're an adult already, that they've always wanted to have 4 children, it's not always nice to hear it when you're the 5th child. Right? You don't usually want to hear that, right? I happen to be the 5th child. And you hear your parents saying they always wanted to have only 4 children. 2 years ago, I visited my mother 2 weeks before she died. And I asked her, and she was very sick, but she was still alive. I had to ask her. I asked her, Mom, I remember when I was a kid, you'd say that in your conversation with some people that you've always wanted to have 4 children. And I happen to be the 5th child of yours. So I asked her, did you ever want to abort me? Did you ever want to abort me? And this was what she paused for a while, and she responded, your dad said it was okay to have another one. It was okay to have another one. The reason why I'm saying this, that doctor, my uncle, is a brother of my dad. And I know at that time, they only wanted to have 4 children because they themselves were going through a difficult time. It could not have been, I may be hypothesizing, I may be deducing from different stories, but it could not have been that my doctor uncle did not tell my dad, why don't you just settle for 4 children? My mother did not say, no, we wanted to have you. She also did not say yes. She did not say no. She said, your dad said it was okay to have another child. It was okay to have another child. We all come from families. When you lose your job, it hits you. When somebody talks bad about you, it hits you. But nothing hits you more when something happens to somebody that you love, especially your family. When you lose somebody who is your mom, when you lose your dad, when your spouse passes away, when your son or daughter is sick with cancer, when your children are having problems, it hits you differently. And the gospel we have heard today talks to us about having a family. We cannot choose our family all right. And some of us come from dysfunctional families. Some of us don't even want to remember our family. Some of us may be celebrating Christmas, but it is all of us sad. Why? Because we know we're still sad because we're not okay with our own families. Be that as it may, wherever you are in your journey of life, it helps to know that the family of Jesus wasn't perfect either. It helps to know that the family of Jesus is not perfect either. And Jesus came not because his family was perfect. Jesus came not because humanity was perfect. Jesus came, why? Because he wanted. He wanted to bring humanity back to himself. My dear sisters and brothers, it is the season of joy, we always say. We even sing joy to the world. But listen, joy is not the absence of problems in the family. Joy is not the absence of pain or cancer. Joy is not the absence of challenges and crises in your life. Joy is simply put the presence of God in your life. It is the presence of God in your life. In the gospel we have heard today, we find God's fidelity to humanity, God's presence in humanity. That even when we wander away from God, even when we choose to sin and not to live in His grace, God chose to be present among us still. And that, I guess, is what Christmas and family and joy is all about. Even when our families are dysfunctional, we don't run away. We try to be present. Even when we're having crisis in your relationship, you don't run away. You try to be present right there. And God did not run away. God chose to be present among us. And may this message, simple though it may be, we all belong to a family that has some sort of dysfunctionality. Let that not stop us from being present for others, from giving our presence to them. Amen.